Has-Been Hotel in its fully realized form has finally premiered, and thus its fandom has finally come into full bloom. I watched it, and I'm debilitatingly ashamed to say that I enjoyed it. It's downright pretty okay. It's a little immature, a little stupid. There's stuff I'd do differently, but, there's plenty of good stuff in there, too. If you don't know what Has-Been Hotel is, hello, mother, I know you're watching this. It's a cartoon about the Princess of Hell, Charlie, trying to rehabilitate sinners so they can go up to heaven, because heaven has decided that there's too many people in hell, so they've started to stab them into non-existence. So they don't, rise up and attack heaven. There, now you know. My favorite character, and the fandom darling, is Alistair the Radio Demon, the character that everyone in the fanbase wants to do unspeakable things to. He's that sexy sort of evil, just full-on 2007 Hot Topic edgelord. The shamelessness of it all makes it extra attractive, I assume.
If you ever say that again, I will tear your soul apart and broadcast your screams for every other disrespectful wretch who dares to question me.
Understood?
Lovely.
He's a full-fledged Tumblr sexy man, up there with the Onceler and Bill Cipher and Sans. And naturally, every sexy man must be shipped. Thing is, though, Alistair, he's asexual. Probably aromantic, too. Or at least, the wording makes me believe that.
Who's this you brought with you? Come now, Alistair. She's much too young for you. Oh, I'm just kidding. I know you're an ace in the hole.
A what now?
Rosie says she knows he wouldn't be in a relationship because he's ace. So they're doing the thing where they think asexual covers both. An understandable and common mistake. After all, if someone's bisexual, you just kind of assume that the term alone covers both sexually and romantically. But for everyone's information, with asexual people, the two types of attraction are a lot more split. Thus, asexual and aromantic are considered separate but similar. But I kind of don't expect the normies to always understand that, especially not the writers on the horny sex Hot Topic cartoon. So I think by ace here, they also mean aromantic. It's ace being used like you'd use gay or straight. So in all likelihood, he's aromantic too. At least that's how I'm interpreting this. But fandom, they don't do aromantic. So you're watching a YouTube video analyzing a dumbass cartoon. You're a nerd who knows what fandom is like, right? Not you, Mom, you don't count. The Has-Been fandom it's no different. Shipping, fan art, Rule 34, X-Reader Fix, and a lot of it focuses on Alistair. Now, Rule 34 isn't a problem. Drawing a naked picture of the handsome deer man is a victimless crime. It can become a problem if it's combined with shipping. And ace-aro people try to tell fandoms that. It can be potentially disrespectful to ace-aro people to ship the one ace-aro character. Well, asexual and aromantic people can still date. They're spectrums after all. Alistair could be gray-sexual or gray-romantic, and Viv never said he was aromantic anyway. That is the common one I've read. And I'm not gonna put a bunch of dumbass teenagers on blast by showing real posts. I just kind of need you to trust me that I've seen this. So, okay, listen. It is true that ace and aro are spectrums. There's this neat thing called gray-sexual, which is an asexual that does still experience sexual attraction, just not in the same way the sexuals do. I think it's called allosexual. I don't know. The sexuals is funnier to me. Maybe they experience attraction very rarely or very weakly. Maybe they find some people hot but aren't interested in sexual activity, or whatever doesn't fully fit the standard definition of asexual, but also isn't as typical as to what is expected of people. Gray romantic is similar, just swap out sex for romance. They feel love but very weakly or rarely, or they fall in love but don't want to date. Here's the thing. That isn't what the show said, though. Rosie didn't call Alistair Gray or Grace or anything. She said ace in the hole in regard to her joke that Alistair was dating Charlie, implying that she knows dating and fucking are not on Alistair's agenda in any way. People who are like, but they never said he was aro, severely overestimate non-ace people's knowledge about the subject. Asexuality, while being more recognized than it was, is still very much obscure. I have to explain it to most people I meet, and due to previous knowledge of how gay and straight work, ace in their brains is going to default to not interested in anyone. The poor aromantics and romantic asexuals are over here like, please sir, can I have some acknowledgement? It's really easy to get in your bubble online where everyone already knows all of this and knows every micro label and every nuance, but when you go into meet space, or even traverse the online space spaces that aren't as queer-focused as, like, Tumblr, you find you will be very shocked by the average person's knowledge of how any of this works. I was once at a convention, a nerd convention, mind you, and I found a booth selling pride buttons, and I was like, can I have an asexual button? And the person running the booth was like, which one is that again? And I was like, the gray and purple one. And they were like, oh yeah, sure thing. Sorry, I just really know my flag. Pointing to the pansexual flag.
How do you like that? Even among misfits, you're misfits.
I don't have any ill will towards this person. They were very nice. It just sort of floored me and really brought me back to reality despite being dressed as a pony. Also, there wasn't any aromantic buttons. Now, I don't want to come on here and be a whining alphabet mafioso and telling people that they're morally incorrect for doing any of this. I know this is all teenage nerds trying to deal with their hellish high school years and navigate finding their identities using cartoons as an outlet. I don't think anyone is evil for shipping the Ace Aro Demon Man with Angel Dust, but I do think it's telling the ways people do it and are talking about it, and I think it's worth commenting on. So, at bare minimum, Alistair is not attracted to anybody, though it is generally thought that he is also the type of ace to not enjoy touch and is repulsed by the idea of having sex. There are hints that he's rather uncomfortable at times in his hypersexual environment.
If you film me going at it with Mr. Fancy Talk Creepy Voice here, you'd be rolling in participants willing to stay at this tacky hotel.
Never going to happen.
Now, there's many reasons one might ship Alistair with someone. The main reason anyone ships anything is because it's a fun character dynamic that's interesting or cute to explore through fan art and fan fiction. Many ships are also to help the shipper explore their identity in a safe environment. That's why most ships are online or same-sex couples. There's also a fetishization element, like a portion of the John Locke conspiracists were shipping it because male-on-male was hot to them. Kirk/Spock back in the 60s and 70s Star Trek fandom was probably all these things rolled into one. Kirk and Spock have a genuinely compelling character dynamic. It's clear that they're very dear to each other, even if they don't say it out loud.
Jim!
I'm willing to bet a lot of these early Trek fans were queer as much as nerds today are, and this was a good way to explore that safely. And Shatner and Nimoy are both hot as hell, so I'm told, and it was hot to picture them just absolutely going at it like there's no tomorrow. These reasons are why I assume anyone ships Alistair with anyone. Him and Charlie have a compelling dynamic. Alistair seems very charmed by her at times, and it's a cute idea that the scary evil one is soft for the sweet one. People ship Alistair and Vox because they're tense rivals, and it's fun to imagine them having a heated battle, and then there's this brief silence and they start making out, and then they just right there on the hotel floor. Same thing with Alistair and Lucifer, though maybe don't do that on the hotel floor in front of Charlie. In front of Angel Dust is fine, he'd probably enjoy it. I think it's okay to ship Alistair like this if you acknowledge that it's just for fun and to explore a character dynamic you find charming or sexy, so long as it's acknowledged that Alistair is Ace Aro in canon and this is all fanfic stuff and you're under no delusion that this could actually happen in the show itself or that it's being hinted at. Going back to the gray sexual, gray romantic stuff, if you are a gray sexual and or gray romantic person and you want to use Alistair to explore your identity, I think that's just fine, that's great. However, if you're saying, well, he could be gray sexual or grayro because you're just trying to justify your erasure of one of our few characters, maybe rethink your motivation for doing that and how you actually feel about asexual and aromantic people. You don't need to bend over backwards like Husker Dust Rule 34 to justify thinking a ship is cute or sexy. You can just be like, I enjoy my fanfic shit. I know it's not real. Same thing with queer platonic relationships. The idea of a queer platonic relationship came out of the aromantic community, and putting it simply, it's a committed relationship without romance. It's a committed friendship where you share everything and support each other, but you're not sucking each other's faces. Or if you are, it's in a no strings attached kind of way. There's probably more nuance to it, but I've never been in one. I'm not interested in being in one at the moment, so I can't speak to the details. But the thing is, I've seen people bring up shipping characters in queer platonic relationships, which is very nice in itself, and I love fan stuff that actually does that. But the thing that concerns me is I feel like I've seen some people doing it in a way where it's treated like romance light rather than what it actually is. Just keep in mind, if you're trying to use the concepts of the ace and aro spectrums in queer platonic relationships as loopholes rather than out of a desire to genuinely engage in the dynamics and concepts, you might be doing aphobia. Now, something I saw someone say is that Has-Been Hotel creator Vivian Madrano said they're allowed to have their innocent fun with shipping Alistair. Did she really say this? How exactly was it worded? I don't know. I don't care. And I'm not going to go looking for it because I don't care what Vivian Madrano says. Fandom constantly acts like the creator of the thing they enjoy is God, and anything they say becomes the 10 commandments of their fan base, scouring their Twitters for any scraps of meta-narrative. But I just don't consider creators in my media diet that much anymore unless they're especially entertaining in their own right, like Toby Fox. To me, if something isn't stated in canon in the actual show, game, book, movie itself, then you can't expect everyone consuming it to know. If I sat down and showed my mother Has-Been Hotel, she's not viciously online, she doesn't use Twitter. How is she going to know or care what the lady whose name is next to the title says about any of it? In 30 years, 40 years, what will we have?
What will you have after 500 years?
Twitter might not exist anymore. Hell, it might not exist next year for all we know. All we will have is the show. That will be the only thing we have to go on. Creators can also change their minds, find something doesn't actually work in the narrative and be forced to alter it. But if something is in the show, even if it gets retconned later, it was still true and part of the narrative once. And what of the writers? What about the artists? Many of them don't have Twitters. Many of them don't talk on Twitter. Many of them are ignored. You know, we can't just go by what this one weird lady says. In Steven Universe, while apparently Peridot was meant to be an Ace Aero metaphor, which you can definitely read into in the show.
But you're not using your combined size and strength to do anything.
I'm doing something.
And what's that?
Stargazing.
Ugh, you can do that alone.
Don't want to. We're very different. I appreciate that.
Really?
If you really want to understand fusion, I can help you.
What do you mean?
Let's fuse.
Oh, my stars!
I get it. You're not ready. That's fair. Another time then.
I can't do it.
That's fine. Peridot, I'm proud of you.
Why?
Because you made an effort to understand me.
But I still don't understand you! Why are you fused all the time?
What with Peridot not liking fusion and being one of the few characters to not show romantic attraction at all, it's very clear that at least one of the writers shipped Lapidot, which could make the metaphor less clear to people. Rebecca Sugar didn't and couldn't write every episode and can't always make sure that everyone's got everything perfectly in line and correct at all times. You're allowed to death of the author a little bit, because I think worship of the author is much less helpful and is, worst of all, annoying. Viv said this, Viv said that. Viv also won't get off of Twitter if only for her own mental health. She's not always right. So while I generally agree that fans are perfectly welcome to have innocent, fun shipping characters like their kids playing with dolls, please just be normal about Ace and or Aero people. Please actually read into what's being said on the actual show, preferably outside of your rose-tinted clouded fandom glasses. Don't look at Twitter, look at me. Now, this isn't all fandom's fault. Many people have had critiques of Has-Been, and many are with good cause. I have a friend who is a lesbian, says they wish that Charlie and Vaggy's relationship was more affectionate and loving, because all they got was Charlie quickly kissing Vaggy and the kiss they shared in the season 1 finale. You know, we don't have to have a graphic scene of them violently just a little more affection. Have them hold hands, do more casual little kisses, show them in bed together. They don't have to be doing anything romantic, just sharing a bed, doing the hotel budget or something. Angel gets to be relentlessly and unambiguously gay. Why not Charlie and Vaggy? In the same vein, I would appreciate it if Alistair's asexuality was explored a little more. The joke in the pivotal scene is that Alistair doesn't even know what she's talking about.
I know you're an ace in the hole.
A what now?
He died in the 30s. He doesn't know what asexual means. That could make an interesting episode where Alistair finds out he's Ace Aero. Maybe Angel Dust can help him. Angel died in the 40s, I think, and was in the Mafia. Clearly, he's chosen to live a whole different life down in hell and has discovered his sexuality. He might know something about this, and it could be used to build the dynamic and friendship between Angel and Alistair, who haven't gotten a lot of screen time together yet. I don't know. I don't need a whole episode, just something. Anything else. And while I can't dictate what fandom does, I think, if you're fatigued on the same 3 fandom cliches, maybe you can use the opportunity of an unshippable character to explore different character dynamics. People ship Vox and Alistair, and I get it, it's the rivalry sexual tension. But wouldn't it be funnier if that sexual tension was one-sided? Vox has this repressed, hateful attraction, and Alistair just doesn't give a shit about him, haha, you wanna fuck me so bad it makes you look stupid! Maybe the Charlie and Alistair ship could be Alistair still being soft for the sweet one, but in a way where he realizes this isn't just a hotel gig, he genuinely values her friendship and trust, and it wouldn't, ruin anything between Charlie and Vaggie. Alistair and Rosie are pretty close. Maybe Rosie's also Ace Aro, and they bond over their shared identity. Maybe Alistair tried to date Mimsy while they were alive, and it made him realize that while he does love her, he doesn't love her that way. Just some free fanfic ideas for anyone who's into that. Isn't this weirdly fucked up? We're so devoid of Ace or Aro characters, I'm defending the evil, fucked up demon man because while an apathetic serial killer cannibal sure isn't my first choice for my rare piece of Ace Aro representation, it's either him, Jughead, or some guy from a show I haven't watched, but probably will eventually. It's on my list. While I do value and cherish Peridot, she is only a metaphor, and metaphors for Ace Aro people aren't quite as fun or clear-cut as metaphors for other concepts Steven Universe tackles. A straightforward, actual Ace or Aro or any part of the spectrum, it doesn't come along quite so often. All I'm left with is interpreting Rutherford and Tendy's ambiguous relationship to be on the gray romantic spectrum, or headcanoning Jessica Rabbit as asexual because that would be funny. Lesbians get She-Ra, and I get a demon cannibal murderer. I'm fine. You're a loser, baby, a loser, goddamn baby, you're a fucked up little whiny bitch, you're a loser just like me.